Gluten has certainly become a buzzword of recent times, and indeed the major cereal grains of wheat, barley, oats, rye and millet have become a staple of the high carbohydrate, low fat diet that has been commonplace in the Western world for the last 20 to 30 years. Indeed, the term whole grain is synonymous with health for most people. However, we should consider that we've only been eating grains for the last 10,000 years or so, and really that's only a blip in terms of the lifespan of human evolution. Plants are similar to us. They have to adapt and find ways to survive, whereas we can run, they can't move, so they've come up with different ways of protecting themselves against predators. One of these is to produce toxins that can damage the intestinal lining of the digestive tract of their predators. In fact, this is one of the ways that gluten, one of the proteins that are found in wheat, acts to make our digestive system leaky. Hence the term leaky gut that you may have heard about, and there's a link to on my website about how to heal leaky gut. Leaky gut is now one of the main components linked with obesity, diabetes and many autoimmune conditions such as Hashimoto's thyroiditis. The testing to see whether you're a celiac, which means you have an overt reaction to eating gluten, is relatively simple. It's just a couple of antibodies that a blood test from your GP will pick up. What's not so easy to pick up is non-celiac gluten sensitivity or intolerance. This requires a more detailed blood work that is not commonplace offered by GPs in the UK or even physicians in the US. It requires someone that's trained in functional medicine to arrange a laboratory to look into these more detailed antibodies, and that can be expensive. For most people, following a primal or paleo approach to eating, where the majority of grains are avoided, seems to work well. And indeed, there are many cases of recovery from different autoimmune conditions and weight loss that are seen very quickly by switching to this approach of eating. If you wish to find out yourself whether you have a gluten intolerance, the cheapest way to do so would be to perform an elimination diet. That would be to remove all foods that contain gluten, and this is breads, pastas, cakes, pastries. Remove them all for 30 days and then reintroduce for one day and see what effect this has on your symptoms. Often people recognise sleepiness, drowsiness, mood disturbances as part of the reaction to eating gluten. So see if this happens for you. The more expensive but more detailed approach is to perform blood work, or in some cases a simple stool test can identify intolerances with testing. If you enjoyed this short video, do click below where there's a link to the ebook I produced on how to heal a leaky gut. You could also consider joining our Facebook group where there's more advice and tips on how to create your best life and stay healthy for you and your family. If you enjoyed this short video, do click below where there's a link to the ebook I produced on how to heal a leaky gut. You could also consider joining our Facebook group where there's more advice and tips on how to create your best life and stay healthy for you and your family.